Let's get to that big story, shall we, about a big fight in a small town over school funding. The Battleground Public School District has a levy on the ballot in tomorrow's election. If this levy fails, the district says it'll be forced to cut dozens of positions, leading to larger class sizes. And they say programs like music, art, and theater would go away completely. But opponents of the levy say schools already get enough of their tax dollars and they can't afford to fork over more. Here's Ashley Korslin.
I just try and, post and get people educated, especially
inside the halls of Prairie High School in the Battleground Public School District.
It's really fun to interact with different clubs and other people.
Students Sydney Corden and Ricardo Martin Del Campo are rallying their fellow students to get involved in the upcoming election.
A lot of them ask questions.
Specifically, they're campaigning in favor of the district's replacement levy, which is up for public vote. The 4-year levy would replace the one expiring at the end of this year.
So I think, we're making a really big difference.
So now things are different.
Superintendent Denny Waters says the vote will be pivotal for the district.
It's still one of those things that I wake up at night and the first thing that pops into my head is, how important this is for us.
The replacement levy would bring in a total of $116 million over 4 years, roughly 14% of the district's $200 million operating budget.
Our assistant principals are all part of the levy funding. We have nurses part of the levy funding. We have psychologists part of levy funding.
Vote yes! Woo!
If this sounds familiar to voters, it's because it is. This is actually the second attempt at a replacement levy this year. Voters failed the first one last February by a margin of 1,000 votes. Waters says if the second bid fails, the district would have to cut more than $28 million in programs and staff next year, impacting things like school psychologists, music, art, and some athletic programs.
We're already at a lean place in terms of our staffing. And the idea of cutting back even more is really scary.
This dilemma is not new for Battleground. Since 1980, the district has experienced 17 levy failures, including 3 double levy failures, the most recent in 2006. A double levy failure in the early 80s forced the elimination of middle school sports.
I think there is some uniqueness about it for us. I don't think that, Vancouver or Evergreen has experienced double levy failures.
So why are school levies such a contentious issue in the county's third largest school district?
I think there's no simple answer. I think it's complex. There's a lot of layers to it.
It comes down to sometimes ideology.
Curtis Krebar, president of the Teachers Union, says politics play a role.
You have sometimes kind of polar opposites on that.
And so does misinformation, like social media claims that the district teaches the controversial critical race theory curriculum in schools.
In the Battleground Public School District, we are not teaching critical race theory.
Then there's the debate over the state's comprehensive sex education program, which has been a hot topic in the Battleground School District.
We're not in the business of indoctrinating people into one ideal or anything else like that. We're here to get them the opportunity to kind of think and to be able to listen so they can make good decisions in that way.
I actually wrote a blog article.
For others,
I'm concerned about affordability and what we're getting for our money.
Like Richard Rylander, a retired educator with grandchildren in Battleground Public Schools, the levy vote is financial.
You've got people on fixed incomes, a lot of them in North County, because they're just concerned that they're going to get taxed out of their homes.
Battleground has seen immense growth and property values are skyrocketing.
Is it fair to tax people based on what they may ultimately get to sell the property for in the future?
And without a large foundation of corporations and businesses in the area as a tax base, Rylander says residents shoulder most of the burden, and many simply can't afford it.
But the increases in all of those taxes are, I think, exceeding most people's income increases. And so what do you do?
Which brings us to the cost of the replacement levy up for vote. The expiring levy has a rate of $2.32 per $1,000 in assessed property value. The proposed replacement has a lower rate of $1.99 per $1,000 in assessed value. So for a home valued at $450,000, you'd be looking at paying between $900 and $1,000 a year over the course of 4 years. In Washington, schools get the majority of property tax revenue, roughly 56%, according to a report from the Department of Revenue. That's made up of money from local and state education levies. In Clark County, the Camas, La Center, and Washougal school districts have the highest school tax rates. Battleground has the lowest.
Name is Terry Dotson.
That's what Terry Dotson hopes voters will keep in mind on Election Day.
We have over 500 lawn signs out in the entire district.
His group, Battleground Citizens for Better Schools, has handed out thousands of flyers to spread the word.
I'm not an educator, but I'm passionate about taking care of the kids.
I was involved in track and basketball.
Kids like Sydney and Ricardo,
Band, drama, choir.
who worry their favorite activities would go away if this levy fails.
I couldn't ask for better friends who are in those programs.
Their biggest message: get involved, get educated, and vote.
Tell everybody you know, hey, the levy's coming up November 2nd. Do your part and vote.
Okay, interesting debate. Ashley Korslin joining me now. So you and I were talking, one of the reasons that you wanted to do this story was there is a lot of misinformation, a lot of confusion out there about this levy, and we just wanted people to know the facts about it going into tomorrow.
Yeah, and get informed, know exactly where your tax dollars are going. But Maggie, I think the prime example in this story, in this community, are those claims about critical race theory,
right.
Which, to be clear, critical race theory is not being taught in any public school system in Oregon or Washington. But you can really see how claims like this, they get spread on social media and on Facebook, people share it. And those claims are really being used to sway how people vote, especially something like this with a high dollar levy.
Yeah, it was brought up multiple times to you, so we know that those issues are central to the debate right now. Also, a lot of people you talked to who have differing views about the levy told you that they all feel like they've been the target of online harassment, even possibly threats. I mean, that's just kind of how emotional and intense everything has become around this.
Yeah, we all know it. There's a lot of vitriol out there, especially when it comes to social media. But yeah, people we spoke to who are either in support of this levy or maybe oppose it for a variety of reasons. We heard from some it's financial. Any of them who try to talk about their points online, even to try to maybe educate other people, they do feel like they have been targeted, they've been harassed, and it's a bummer to see that when you see something like a school levy getting extremely political and hateful.
Yeah, as I said earlier, this is like the land of hyperbole. Everybody is just so intense about this. But again, we just wanted people to be educated about it. So Election Day is tomorrow. Do your best to educate yourself, and we will see what happens, of course. Ashley Korslin, thank you.
Thank you.